Hello, Jess to Film here. It's the end of 2024, so let's have some end of the year movie fun. What's my favorite movies, my least favorite movies? Well, in this video, I want to talk about a topic that I always find interesting, that's sure to get a lot of people mad, which I don't understand, which is my unpopular movie opinions of 2024. So only 2024 releases, which films didn't connect with me, or films and TV shows that actually surprisingly did connect with me, that are just not popular picks. Let me know if you have any, and please don't get mad at these. These are just movie opinions at the end of the day, and we all disagree on movie opinions, and I'd love to hear yours. So the first thing is that Wicked did not connect with me. I really didn't like this movie. It reminded me of a lot of the downfalls of a Marvel movie or Star Wars movie from recent years, where it feels overlong, it feels overly CGI, and it also felt like they were doing callbacks for it being a prequel to Wizard of Oz. It's like, oh, that's the line from the Wizard of Oz. Oh, this is the moment the flying monkeys became flying, when those aren't main focuses of the movie. And yeah, those are small moments, but again, there's more than just that problem. I didn't connect with the characters very much. I really liked Cynthia Erivo's performance, which I probably said her name wrong, and I'm really sorry. She was good. I hear a lot of praise for Ariana Grande's performance, but I don't think she did a good job. It felt to me like she was really acting to be this character. It didn't feel like a genuine performance, in my opinion. And I felt like she was over-exaggerating lines in a way that was painfully unfunny, where it's like, okay, yeah, you're trying too hard here. You know, the humor with her really connected with me. Okay, Speak No Evil. This one was a remake of a movie that I already wasn't too hot on, and they made that movie but worse. They changed one of the most interesting parts of the movie, which was the third act, and they made it this very ridiculous, schlocky act. I don't want to spoil it for y'all. And then the rest of the movie, which was already frustrating in the first movie, they kept those stupid moments where it's like, why would the character do this? Oh, because of plot. Like, okay, yeah, I saw this a mile away and you're doing the stupidest possible outcome so that you could have your characters in the plot, because you can't really write characters with actual motivations and goals. So you have to do these cheap plot devices to keep characters in a certain place. It was shot fine. Didn't have too much personality to how it's shot, but it was like, okay, yeah, the original one was shot pretty fine too. I don't know. Oddity, a lot of people say, oh, this is one of the scariest movies of the year. Yeah, this one didn't really hit with me either. It wasn't as bad as the past few movies that I was talking about. I did like the mood that I was trying to go for. And some scenes got it right, but then they were like literally one of the most Looney Tunes deaths I've ever seen in the latter half of the movie. Don't want to say too much. It's just hilarious to me. And it felt like it was a very slow-paced movie, which, you know, I could love a great slow-paced movie, but there wasn't much going on for me to chew on. It wasn't really directed in an interesting way. Aside from, again, a few scenes capturing the mood, the performances were fine. I didn't mind the performances. But yeah, there just wasn't much for me to come out of by the end of this movie. Then there was Sonic 3, which I did think Sonic 3 was kind of mid. I know, I'm sorry, Sonic fans. I did a review on this. But yeah, it's the best of the trilogy. I like that. But I felt like it felt very rushed. Characters would just kind of appear places. There were many jokes that did not work and few jokes that did work. I did like the cartoony performance from Jim Carrey. I thought Keanu Reeves was really not that good in this movie. I'm sorry. I don't know, his acting in general hasn't really hit with me. I can't think of, oh wow, I really love that Keanu Reeves performance. Okay. There was that Gus Van Sant movie I did like him in, so yeah, okay, I could think of that one. And I guess, you know, we all have a soft spot for Neo from The Matrix, so okay. Sorry, Keanu, but yeah, and that movie didn't really work for me. And I could always use more video game music, because when they used video game music, everybody was hyped up for it. But yeah, we had pop songs in there where it's like, okay, it wasn't to the egregious level of like a Super Mario Bros. Movie, but it was still there. So yeah, that one was like kind of a 5, like Oddity, I believe. Maybe I gave Oddity a 4. And then here's one, okay, laugh at me. I liked Blitz, and I liked Blitz quite a bit. Yeah, the latest Steve McQueen movie, a lot of people were dissing on, and I totally understand. But I don't know, being a Steve McQueen movie, I thought it had fantastic cinematography. I thought it had a great score. And I did like the central story, which it seems like a lot of people weren't connecting to. It felt familiar to some other movies, sure, but I liked the world that it built. I liked the things that it explored. There were some very disturbing moments in the movie. And sure, the third act, I think, was a little bit more sloppy the more I think about it. And I did lower this, because you could laugh here. I had this at an 8, and I lowered it to a 7 the more I thought about it. But I still really liked Blitz. I don't know. Another one, okay? Laugh at me. I liked Hazbin Hotel. That's right. I liked Hazbin Hotel this first season more than Wicked. I don't know. Look, the plot line wasn't the most engaging thing in terms of like, oh yeah, this is like some of the best writing or anything. I love the writing of the songs, and I loved the instrumentals of the song, and I love the singing. I thought the song, there's so many songs that are still in my playlist that I listen to every so often. And the central story was enough for me to have distinct characters. I like the characters, and I was interested to see how it turned out, and I liked some of what it was saying with the story. I didn't think this was that bad. I know a lot of people have been hard on it. I give it a 6 out of 10, at least for that first season. So yeah, I liked Hazbin more than Wicked. Saturday Night. Okay, this movie, another one I did a review for on this channel. I thought this was very much a, hey, you know that celebrity? You know that celebrity? Here's what they were like back in the day. And taking these stereotypes and bits of celebrities that we know and just kind of playing that up as characterization for most of the movie. That was a lot of the focus. And then the lead character, who was somebody that I wasn't too familiar with their past, was just not really an interesting character to follow. And yeah, there wasn't much that stuck with this movie, except I was like, yeah, this is trying really hard to be Birdman. We have that frantic style and this almost similar production behind the scenes setting, even a similar score as well. And I was like, yeah, you're trying to be Birdman, but you're failing. I'd rather just watch Birdman at this point. So yeah, I didn't really like that one. And then we have Challengers. I actually really like Challengers, but I think not as much as other people. That's the unpopular opinion. I give it a 7. I will say there were some parts of Challengers that didn't work with me. I thought the score at some points, which I love Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, and they scored this movie. I felt like it was a little bit overbearing at points. And I also felt like the third act was a little bit drawn out a bit. Like I felt like this could have been a tighter movie. Don't call me like Cameron Jackson. I still really like Challengers. That's just the unpopular. I didn't love Challengers because I see it on so many people's top 10s, and I understand in so many ways. Much more than other movies like Wicked, which if you like Wicked, that's okay. But I'm more like, oh yeah, I really like Challengers, but I just didn't love Challengers. All right, let's see some other ones. Wild Robot. I've done a review on here. I thought that was pretty overrated for my taste, at least. I did not connect with this movie. I thought the script was very watered down and childish. It's like, okay, we got the cliche of somebody not fitting in this very like, oh, the other people are kind of bullying him. And then you have, oh, I gotta discover what love means, and done in very stereotypical ways to other children's movies. The animation was good. But yeah, by the end of the movie, there's like an action climax, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? And a lot of the moments in that part didn't really make sense. So yeah, I didn't really care for the characters. I didn't really care for the central story. There were so many cheesy moments. One of the resolutions, I guess I could spoil, okay, Wild Robot spoilers, but it's like all the animals agreed to not eat each other. Like, wait, are we really doing this? I don't know. There's so many moments like that. Just kind of maybe like, okay, yeah, this is not working. And the humor didn't really work for me either. Whereas it's like, okay, not to say that there wasn't like a good dark joke or two, but most of it was like, okay, yeah, this is kids' humor I've seen in other movies. We got like another Luma-esque character with the baby voices and everything. I think they were like baby possums or something. I don't remember. So yeah, Wild Robot, I don't know. The more I think about it, the less I like it. We Live in Time. Another one I did a review of. If you want my full thoughts on Wild Robot, We Live in Time, Saturday night, I've done reviews of those. We Live in Time, I thought, was another very disingenuous movie where it's portraying this relationship between two people, and it felt very self-centered, and it felt unrealistically self-centered, and it felt, I don't know, I'm not even remembering a lot of what I thought of the movie, but it felt very cliche in many moments, and the characters weren't very distinct. There were 2 good performances, at least. I like that. I like the 2 central performances. But yeah, then it ends on like a very whimpery note of like, that was it? Like, that's all we're going for? I don't know. I thought the bathroom scene, which is all I'll say, was very cheesy. And I was like, okay, I'm out of this one. But again, full thoughts in another video. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to have to turn in my estrogen. I did not like TV Glow. I'm sorry. I really liked We're All Going to the World's Fair by Jane Schubrun, I believe their name is. But TV Glow, I don't know. This one I found boring, if I had to be honest. I found it very drawn out because I didn't care about the characters. I mean, I kind of liked how it was like, okay, you know, obsessing over a TV show. I could kind of relate to that. And of course, there's trans themes throughout, which is like my cup of tea. But I just found so much of the performance of Justice Smith, which I like in other movies, like even Detective Pikachu. I found his performance really kind of weak. And I found the characters just poorly explored and poorly written. And the ending I thought was awful and very cheesy and just not working. And maybe if it had better actors and a little bit tighter script, it would work. And I'm not saying Justice Smith is a bad actor, but like more fitting actors, I should say. So yeah, a cool mood that it captured, and you know there were some cool shots here and there. Even the song in the middle didn't really hit for me, and I'm like, okay, when is this ending? The monologue in the middle didn't really hit for me. I'm sorry, y'all, but that's my honest take. I'd give that one like a 4 out of 10, though. I didn't not like it as much as say Wicked. The film wastes Connor O'Malley. Like, how do you do that? Gladiator 2, I think I might have liked worse than Wicked. I don't know. Gladiator 2 I did not like. And I liked Gladiator 1 quite a bit when I saw it at least a few years ago. I haven't seen it since. But it felt like, oh, this is a sequel that they're doing the first one again. I know this format. I really don't like sequels that just kind of retread the first one. Maybe this is why I like something like Toy Story 2 so much. But Gladiator 2 was retreading the first one with less interesting characters. Paul Mescal is great in some movies, but oh my gosh, he was awful in this movie, I thought. And I thought Denzel Washington was probably the most interesting performance, but he didn't really have that too distinctive a character, I felt like. And yeah, I was just bored. I honestly fell asleep at one part, and yeah, it just felt like a retread of the first one in so many ways, and trying to recapture some of the magic there, but had none of the tight pacing that the original one had, and none of the memorable characters that the original had, or the strong performances. Again, Denzel Washington was pretty cool though. Okay. And there were like a lot of characters where it's like, okay, yeah, this is like this character from the original one, but just a new version. But now there's 2 of them. It's like Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't know. I think this is a liked movie. I think this is my least favorite movie of the year, which is crazy. I don't know if anybody else has that like so down on their list, but I was so bored and unengaged during Godzilla vs. Kong. It felt like, I don't know, not like the King Kong Skull Island movie, but more like the Godzilla like King of Monsters movie. But with like a less serious tone, but it's not really showing me anything too interesting here. I do not care about any of the characters besides those kaiju, and it even feels like the kaiju they barely showed, and I don't know. I didn't really care for this movie at all. I thought it was pretty awful. It's escaped my mind so much, which makes worst of the year list so hard for me. But I might have to read up on that and maybe do a worst of the year list so I could explain my position more, because yikes, that has left my mind. Ugh, so many stupid cliches and conveniences. Longlegs. I mean, a lot of people were saying it's the scariest movie of the year. The advertising said that. It just did not connect with it. Even from the beginning, a lot of people were like, that first scene's really good. That didn't even connect with me. I thought Nicolas Cage was hilarious from the beginning. The main character was a very bland character, and there were really no interesting characters besides Nicolas Cage, who was just laughably bad compared to the rest of the movie, a mismatch of tone as well. And I don't know, the central mystery I did not find intriguing, and the payoffs I found not intriguing. Once in a while it would be directed in an interesting way visually, but yeah, Longlegs did not work with me. Yeah. Next up, Inside Out 2. Another sequel that just does the first one. I'm actually quite amazed that this got so well received. I thought people would be calling this out for that, but yeah, to me it was the first one, but now we have anxiety as an emotion and even less exploration of the Riley character, where we're just stuck in this like central location that's so bland for her, and that whole sports plot I thought was just very disengaging. So yeah, I really don't like sequels that just kind of do the first one. That's not to say there weren't some great moments. Like, it is a movie I really didn't like, but then there were like 1 or 2 great scenes where I'm like, okay, I can't completely dismiss this as like one of the worst movies of the year or anything like that. Or yeah, I liked that animated characters, all I'll say. And then there's like a callback to an Apple commercial. That, okay, I like that too. All right, you got me there. But yeah, Inside Out 2 I found very frustrating because there was so much potential with where that first movie could go. And we're just stuck in this mid-sports drama for the real-world elements, and then a retread of the mind drama of the first one, which I already thought wasn't that strong in the first place. Alien Romulus, Didn't really like that one either. There were some cool characters, like I like that Andy character, but the rest of the film I found doing callbacks to the original films where it's like I'd rather be watching these films. Common problem in this list. And also it felt like very reliant on stupid characters, stupid decisions, horror that felt phony. Once in a while there would be like, okay, yeah, this looks like it's something from a video game, and I kind of like that. But didn't really work with me. And then Deadpool 3, I found this movie grating. Like from the start, I'm like, oh, this is doing a worse version of the Red Rocket opening, which I love the Red Rocket opening and what they do there. And we just get fourth wall breaks of Marvel Cinematic Universe humor. Okay. Oh, why isn't this character in here? Oh, how are you? How did you get in here? Oh, this is the bad thing that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing, and it's continuing to be a bad Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. And it's like, what are we doing here? That's not to say it wasn't completely disposable. I mean, Channing Tatum was pretty good in it. I probably shouldn't have said that. I hope that's not considered a spoiler at this point. All right, finally, Conclave. Another one I did a review of on this channel. Found this mid as heck. I mean, I didn't really like All Quiet on the Western Front, and this has a lot of the problems there, where we have a overbearing score that is annoying, that will ruin scenes, and insists so much that the movie doesn't deliver on or doesn't match the tone of the score. There were some good performances. I mean, a lot of the performances were good, but that wasn't enough to save the movie, because the central drama was boring at points, frustrating at some of its reveals, where it just kind of ends and it's like, wait, I want to hear more about that. Wait, what? I don't know. Again, did a full review on this channel. Okay, I feel like that was a very negative list, and I'm sorry about that. I don't want to keep making negative content on this movie stuff, but I do like talking about the ups and downs of film, and when I praise stuff, it doesn't seem to get as much eyes on there. So, you know, if I could take advantage of expressing my negative opinions and have fun with it, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, it's just our opinions on films. No offense to any of the people who worked on these movies. I respect you. But for now, let me know what you agreed or disagreed in the comments politely. I mean, geez, some of these comments are very rude, and I do not understand that. Subscribe here for more film content, which I have so much planned in 2025 when I'm not grinding out videos on the Lego channel. And I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.